Hello traders and welcome to the weekly outlook and setups volume 168. It's Iliya here, and as always I'm really excited to have you on the Trading Fanatic channel. You know what we're gonna do today. We're gonna have a look at the market, how it developed this week, what kind of opportunities we had, and most importantly what we can expect for the upcoming week. This week was rather choppy. It was only Tuesday and Wednesday that we have a couple of moves, and then the market was just up, down, very consolidative. Also on the 4-hourly time frame, also the 15-minute kept changing up and down. Some pairs, like for example the JPY, could have traded more than the USD pair. So we're gonna explore what happened this week, and of course try to forecast what could happen in the upcoming week. This is also the last week of October, so let's make sure to finish strong. So right now we're going to prepare and make sure to hunt the market next week. All right. If you're new to this channel, it is all about trading. I plan to share more in investing as well. I share these weekly outlook and setups every Saturday, and once per week I'm going to be sharing an educational piece of content or a trading setups breakdown video. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel and turn on the notification bell in order not to miss the updates when they come out, the videos, the shorts I also started to publish. So make sure to do that, and if you already did, let's head into the analysis. Alright, as always, we're gonna get started with a Dixie, which is really important to have a look at before we jump onto any other pair. But before we do that, shout out to my amazing broker, Forex.com. They are great. They have all the currencies, all the stocks, all the equities, all the indices you want to trade, also some crypto with amazing spreads. They also have two types of accounts, but I recommend that you open an eco account, because every lot size that you trade, the commission will go towards planting 10 trees. They have already planted thousands of trees, so make sure to go to their website. Link is down in the description. Check out their processes, check out their spreads, and make sure to open your eco account and help the first green broker out there. So the Dixie, well, we can see that on the weekly time frame, we're having an overall bearish candle, so we're continuing with that pullback. We did not continue pushing higher to take out the high, and currently I see so this week we did not have any important news at all, I believe, well, except from the resignation of the UK's prime minister, like nothing within the US. And we, as I'm gonna show you later in the indices, we're having a little bit of a risk on perspective. So the fear and greed index actually jumped a lot this week. It went like from 21 1 week ago to closing to 45, which is like huge for 1 week. So we're having that little bit of a risk on perspective. So meaning that equities, stocks, indices are going up, DXY is going down, and potentially also the currency pairs like Euro USD, Aussie USD, Pound USD are potentially gonna go up. Okay. So of course, the most important question is, does that mean that we are fully going to reverse, or are we just pulling back for more liquidity? Well, we don't know. And potentially this is going to be determined with some sort of news. Okay. So in terms of the weekly on the Dixie, we are still bullish, right? We're still within this push. We tried to make a pullback, but then the market tried to push. It failed, which means two things. Either the market is right now pulling back to grab more liquidity from here and then continue, or it's going to break this low to tap deeper into this demand, and then from there we're going to expand. So those are my two outcomes on the weekly time frame. And of course, overall, I am bullish on the dollar. Then of course, dropping on the daily, well, you can see what we trade into right now. Okay, so huge wick right there, bullish, bearish, indecision, bullish, indecision, wick up, nice strong close down. Friday was actually quite huge. I don't know why, but yeah, you can see overall not much of a development. We kind of kept staying in this range, going up, going down, going up, going down. So overall just ranging. So nothing too much to extract on the daily. So I'm immediately gonna go on the 4H and actually start following the 4-hourly structure. So what I mentioned to you from last week, hopefully you actually follow this analysis, that we had a little bit of a shift precisely right there. So the market pulled back, it made a valid 4-hourly range, it dropped lower, it broke higher, and then it came back and retested this little demand zone that is staying probably on the lower time frame. Then it pushed up, which also confirmed another structure break into the highs, right? Which formed another demand zone. We tapped the demand zone and continued pushing higher, right? So you can see actually the Dixie shifted a bit bullish, which made also pairs like a Euro USD and Aussie USD and GBP USD potentially to fall a little bit as we had this very nice bullish push, right? But also what I spotted with between EU and the DXY is that we had divergence. So this one right there created structure breaks, created the trend change, while EU still remained in the trend. Okay, so which was a little bit tricky. So yeah, after we broke out this high, so this technically created a new our high, you can see that we actually went on to actually liquidate above this high, which is kind of a big wick. We liquidated above, and then we very massively shifted bearish. Okay, and right now what this is, well, it's a 4-hourly shift down, which actually introduced our most recent trend right now. So what I'm going to be doing for next week is, of course, as I understand right now what is happening within this range. So the market ranged for a little bit. First it took out this high, and right now it took out even this high. So it's taking all the orders potentially. Well, I do think we're going to pull back lower. So are we going to stop somewhere right there? Are we going to stop somewhere right here? Or are we even going to break this low? I don't know, but I would expect a short-term, potentially bearish move on the Dixie. Okay, so drawing a zone like this is not incorrect, but it's also not correct. Why? Well, because those little zones right there, that they did not really cause something very important. Okay, I'm still gonna have them right there. So those are the potentially the two zones that we can be looking for, either for a reversal or at least for the reaction, which can look something like this. But of course, yes, overall the Dixie is bullish on the weekly. Daily, it's a little bit tricky to determine what the daily is, but of course, most importantly, I keep following the foliage. So right now, as we have this new range, I'm going to be looking for a potential 50% pullback. There is one zone that we can use. There is another zone we can use. Of course, you can go like to an hourly or even to a 4, 5 hourly, 6 hourly time frame to try to find a good zone. Like this one is quite big, right? So make sure to refine them using your approach. But personally, if I get a pullback towards the 50% and towards both of those zones, I will be considering shorts. And of course, if Euro USD, for example, aligns for longs, I do think we can get a nice intra-week move like this. Pullback, push to the downside, and then from there, we're going to see how the market is going to start responding from those two zones right here. Okay, so that is the Dixie, short-term bearish, right? But long-term bullish. So let's see how the other pairs are going to support this bias. All right, let's have a look at euro dollar, my favorite pair, which was very nice this week on Tuesday and Wednesday. But from Monday until Wednesday, I was not at home. I had to leave at 9 o'clock, so I wasn't trading on those days, unfortunately. Then I only traded on Thursday because it was a free day for me. I got a break even, but unfortunately I got slipped a little bit on my stop loss. So I took a very little loss on this one. And then on Friday, I took 2 hits early in the morning once again before I left home. But then I traded with low risk. So I pretty much have very small loss this week. But yeah, I'm very sad that I missed the trades on Tuesday and Wednesday. But hopefully some of you guys caught those shorts. Very nice shorts on Tuesday, very nice shorts on Wednesday. I'm going to walk you through them right now. But before I do that, I want to invite you to an amazing webinar in which we're going to cover a potential passive income stream for you using DeFi and crypto as well. Knowing the right place to invest is very important. So make sure to join us on that webinar that we're going to host with my friends from Crypto Street Academy. Link is down in the description, right? So what we see is pretty much similar to what we had on the Dixie. So we're having an overall push, we're having a pullback, then the market tries to push lower and make a new lower low, but it fails, which again means two things. We're either going to be coming back to grab more liquidity, but again, similar to the Dixie, we can either take out this high or we can stop somewhere below this high and then continue going lower. Okay, what is more likely? I don't know, right? Personally, when we think in terms of liquidity, this high failed to cause anything to the lows, right? So it's potentially can become liquidity, right? So we can potentially expect something like this. That will be a very good outcome. And this could happen, I think, with some sort of news. So watch out for the economic calendars. I usually don't check them I usually check them on Monday. I don't know why, but yeah, watch out for this week's economic calendar, because if we have something huge, then we can have like all of that liquidation happen, and then we can really have the real move. Because what you see is happening right now on EU, well, it's kind of compressing, right? We had a very clean move down, very clean move up. We started responding very nicely, but since the 11th of October right there, we kind of started to mess around a little bit, right? And yes, the daily is bearish to me as well, right? So we have this very nice push, we have this very nice pullback. The market actually responded from this daily zone. It tried to push, it failed, and right now it's pulling back. So once again, my question is, are we going to respond from something right here that we can potentially try to find on the 4-hourly right now, or are we going to pull back deeper and then potentially flush? So that is my main question for EU going forward. So we had potentially an 8-hourly supply that I still think can act as a potential supply, because we didn't really tap into it. You can see we just kind of kissed it, went away, and right now we're coming back. So this is one of those zones that we can respond to. And then of course, the next one is the absolute extreme, which is right there. So those are similarly to the Dixie, those two demand zones that I drew. Those are the two supply zones that I'm going to be dropping on EU. Okay, they actually look pretty good. But yeah, so then if you actually have a look at it, well, the market went and responded from a 6-hourly demand right there, which was, I think, yeah, Wednesday. Monday opened very impulsively into the upside, but the setup was very hard to take. Like, I really didn't see a very clean long setup right there on Monday. Tuesday was great, right? So unfortunately, my flow with the markets Tuesday went kind of wrong because immediately after I closed it, the market adapted the structure. So you should also flown with it as well, right? So that is the thing. I might actually have to start doing it live. So maybe just jump live for 1 hour. So I just walk you through and really show you how I adapt, because when I record a video, then London opens or like 9:30, 10 o'clock, and it's completely different. And then of course my forecasts become kind of wrong, right? Which is something that bothers me a little bit. But yeah, then from here we got potential longs, right? The market pulled back and then it actually went on and took this big liquidity right there and actually came deep inside this zone right there, which we kind of kissed a little bit. We took the liquidity below this low, and right now we are impulsing, potentially about to break this guy right there. So very erratic behavior. So kind of chopped around, went out, went down, went up, down, and right now it's reversing up. So I really don't know, right? But technically what we have right now is a 4-hourly aligning bullish. Why? Well, because this was a potential. So we had a push, higher high, potential higher low. The market tried to push for a higher high, failed, and then it shifted to bearish, which technically this shifts to bearish. But then again, what is our lower high? It's this. This is the lower high that caused the break, and right now this is broken, which is technically a new higher high right there. So we're definitely reversing. So the question is, are we first gonna have a pullback to take a long, or are we just gonna take out the high, right? Are we gonna just take out the high and then tap into this supply? So according to me, EU is gonna need some waiting time, because it really depends how it opens. If it opens and breaks this high and taps into this supply, well, I would also be looking for some shorts, right? I'm going to be looking for the 15-minute to align bearish and maybe even take some shorts towards the downside, because then my range is going to look something like this. So I would love to take shorts towards the 50%, right? But if the market starts bearish on market open, something like this, then I'm going to be looking for a long, absolutely long somewhere, right? I really don't care. I'm going to be dropping to the 50-minute time frame, just looking for that little pullback. And then as the 50-minute aligns bullish, I'm going to be following it to the upside. Okay, so I'm not gonna throw any major forecasts right now on EU. So once again, stay tuned for Tuesday. But yeah, this is how I look at it. I think again, similar to the Dixie, we have a short-term bullish bias, but long-term we are bearish. So let's see if the bears are gonna come in from here, right? Are they gonna come in from here? Or are we just gonna break above and then do something completely new in this big zone right here? Okay, so keep following the 4H, and of course have those supply zones and monitor how the market develops around them. Okay, so let me very briefly show you my trades. I want to show them. As I told you, I only traded on Thursday and Friday, very unfortunately, because we had beautiful setups on Tuesday and beautiful setups on Wednesday, right? So if I just see where they are, yeah, so there is actually Tuesday. So I'm not gonna go into details. I should have done this maybe on Thursday because I had a free day, but I worked on other stuff. So this is what I said on Monday. Sorry, on Tuesday, right? So we had this demand, we have this demand. I'm gonna be looking for longs. But what the market did, it created a higher low, it created a higher high, and here it shifted bearish. And what is the 4-hourly doing? What is the daily doing? It's bearish, right? So actually our higher time frame bias was bearish. So immediately after you shifted, you should start taking shorts, not longs. And I also asked Paul if he took any shorts, and he said yes. For short right there, second break of structure, right? Second short right there, third break of structure, third short potential right there, which might give you a break even or a loss. Okay, but you pretty much have 10R in those two trades. We backtested it with my team on the webinar on Thursday. Amazing trades right there. 2 of those. And then, yeah, then we took out the high, then we returned back. And where did we close? Well, pretty much in the middle where we opened, right? So pretty choppy day, but those 2 intraday setups were great. Okay. Wednesday, the market just took out the high right there. Then it shifted to the lows right here and just started trending bearishly, right? Here it requires a little bit more flowing with the structure. I also, during our Thursday webinar, we broke it down, but you have at least 4 to 5 short opportunities right here. Starting from this break, 1 short right there, second break, second short, then we broke here, third short, break, fourth short, break, fifth and sixth short, I think right there. So go and explore this price action because it was a killer one. A lot of opportunities to take. Unfortunately, I wasn't trading on Wednesday. And then guess what? Thursday comes in. The market is tapping into this demand zone. The 50-minute is overall bearish. And I spot the most recent shift happened right here. The market held from demand. And here we introduced that bullish flow. The market then pulled back, it broke structure up, it pulled back again, it broke structure up. So I just kept following the 50-minute. This was the last demand right there that actually caused the last 50-minute structure break before we shifted down, right? So I was looking to take my trade from here. And if I just get the replay in order not to go too far, this is my trade, my first trade for the week, which was taken with full risk. Because yeah, it was my first trade pretty much. So yeah, this is on my 50-minute zone. The market pulls back, takes some liquidity, aligns on the 1 minute on the retest. I took the trade, 3.6 pip stop loss, which is good. Very slow, very slow, very slow, very slow. It took out the 50-minute high, right? And I did not manage my break even as this one got tapped, because then I was like, okay, well, we can come back for a retest. But then as I saw this massive bearish leg, and I was like, okay, we took out the high. It's very high. We're way above the Asian high as well. We have been chopping around a little bit. Like you can see, 1 push, 2 push, 3 push, 4 push. And I was like, yeah, we can go for a deep liquidity grab. So then I'm going to try to take a long. So yes, I went break even as the market was pushing down. It was right there. But yeah, then it just kind of, it was very big candle, very fast. And instead of taking my stop loss here, it took me right there for like yeah, kind of a little loss, which is fine. So yeah, that's my first trade. And I also learned this week that I really don't want to actually manage my trade, because yeah, I wasn't supposed to go break even on this one. It was more like an intuitive feeling. Maybe it was also fear, because I didn't want to get a stop loss on this one, but it was an absolutely valid trade. And yeah, then I also wanted to take a short, but how would you take short in all of this price, right? So just look at this move right here. There is no entry for me because of my entry criteria. There is no liquidity gap, which is something that I'm not going to cover right now. But after this massive pump, I was like, yeah, there's no way I'm going to short this one. And then just, yeah, how can you trade in this? No way, right? So that is a Thursday. And if I just quickly go to show you on Friday, it was very funny. Where is it? Where is Friday? Oh, am I still on replay? Yep, excuse me for that. So yeah, Friday early session was kind of a little bit sloppy, a little bit choppy, but still I kind of built an early bias. And yeah, then we can see what happens, like a massive expansion on Friday. I don't know why. But overall, I was looking for shorts, because coming from here, the market was pretty short. And I thought we were going to be attacking the Asian low, which eventually happened, but it happened in a very kind of tricky manner. And I was just following the most recent structure. So we shifted bearish right there, bearish, bullish, then bearish again. So it just keeps shifting up and down, up and down, up and down. So I wanted to trade from here, and this is what I did. Again, early before I leave home. So I find myself trading on Frankfurt nowadays, which sometimes works amazing, and you can take your 5R and run away for the day. But sometimes you get a stop loss, right? As I did on Friday. Fortunately for me, I took both of those trades with low risk, right? So I'm very happy for that, because they could have made a little dent on my account if I took them both with full risk. So this is my 50-minute zone. The market came in, grabbed some liquidity, aligned on the 1 minute. So this is my first trade with a very good stop loss as well. But yeah, and then unfortunately it did that same thing. Like I had the previous loss. So I spot this pair, and the market goes, takes out the major low, and then reverses, right? But unfortunately, yeah, I tapped 3R. It's not even 4 for me to secure. So yeah, this one was a full stop loss, by the way. I didn't even manage this one because I don't want to manage my trades. I trained myself not to do this. Then the market came in, grabbed another liquidity, aligned again. So I was like, okay, I'm going to try again with low risk. And this one was just boop, stop loss, right? So those are my 2 trades on Friday. I lost totally 0.22% on both of those. So I'm happy with that. And the other one was a 0. I don't know, what was it? A 0.10 or something. So I'm overall like 0.30 something % down for the week. Still profitable for the month, and still one more week to hunt Mr. EURUSD down. Okay, so hopefully guys you enjoyed this one. Just showing you not a great week, but again, I missed trading from Monday until Wednesday. Next week I'm gonna be freer, so hopefully we can nail some bangers. Let's have a look at Euro JPY. So what we can see is an overall bullish week, but we had a massive run into the highs, right? 420 pips run into the highs. And then we pull back all the way down, closing as a nice rejection, making like a very good extension towards a new high. So are we going to have a little pullback? Well, let's see. Okay, so what we're going to see also on UJ is that at the last moment, I think it was also Friday, it rejected violently. And yeah, as you can see, pretty much on Euro JPY, pretty much Monday was the bullish move, so the market just opened and moved bullish, and then guys, you have 3 days of consolidation, right? And then Friday just does some mad stuff, mad wick into the highs, mad wick into the lows, closing like this. So yeah, technically our daily higher low is right here. We have a very clean push, very clean pullback, and then a very clean push. So you can even do this in terms of a daily leg, right? But you can see that daily zone right there, that daily extreme is below the 50% on the weekly leg. So I do think if we just dip below this 50% zone right there, we could start preparing for potential longs in terms of the hard time frame bias, right? And also, as long as the daily remains above this zone, it's also pretty bullish, right? Yeah, this week right there disturbs things a little bit, but yeah, this is not like a valid shift to me. On the 4H, it could be though. So the 4H is potentially turning bearish right now. It could be attacking these lows, potentially pulling back towards right there. Look also this zone right there. On the 4H, it looks pretty good. So yeah, this is pretty much eventually where I want to see Euro JPY to go, but it's not about what I want, it's about what's gonna happen. There is our 4-hourly break right there, and then the market shifted to bearish right here. We have a very big supply zone potentially. We also have right now a very big 4-hourly range like this, right? So what I'm gonna be looking for, again, remember, especially the JPYs, they're not supposed to pull back to 50%. Okay, so oftentimes you just get like a 30%, right? 38.2 or just a 30%. And then the market continues going bearish. Okay, so my tip on that will be follow that recent bearish market on the 4H on EJ, but always be aware that weekly and daily are bullish. Okay, so if you have the 15-minute right now, maybe pull us back a little bit higher and then start to align bearish, then I would say go short, right? Go short towards 143. Okay, so keeping it as simple as possible, this is my EJ analysis, right? Weekly bullish, daily bullish, 4-hourly bearish. So potentially we can take a little short into the long, and then of course see what's gonna happen. So let's see if we can catch actually some shorts on Monday, or is it gonna completely change on Monday? All right, let's look at the Aussies. Starting from Aussie dollar, we can see a very nice bullish engulfing candle on the weekly, but this again almost happened on Friday, right? Monday we had a very nice push into the highs, right? The market just opened and it pumped, right? But it was actually Friday that really threw that big continuation, because the whole week we were chopping around. Okay, so just to make you aware that the RBA hiked their rates to 2.60 from 2.35, right? So that is a very good rate hike. So be aware that, yeah, they're hiking their rates, which is usually a good thing for the currency. So we can expect that the Aussie can start appreciating a little bit more, right? So we can have a little bit more bullishness on this one. It's very extended also on the weekly. It's at like 0.62, which is potentially a very nice round number for the Aussie. So can we expect a little bit of a bullishness? Well, could be. In terms of the daily, this structure is a bit hard for me to read on the daily. Like we have like this big wick, bearish, bullish, little pullback. So it's overall a range to me, and I would still consider like, yeah, the daily range to be this, right? From this high to this low. Right now we're pulling back very nicely. So potentially this could be, how do I even draw it? Yeah, I'm gonna take it like that. This can be a potential supply zone that we can respond from. Okay, but I do think that the 4-hourly is very important right now, because look at this, right? So you remember we forecasted that potentially this right there is a bullish shift, right? But I was slightly bit doubtful whether like this massive dump is actually gonna hold. But what happens? The market actually ended up holding, right? But then it failed to take out this high, and I was like, okay, so then this can potentially actually be weak, so we actually might go down. But yeah, then the market actually pushed up, it pulled back in the middle, then it took out the high, right? But then it went on and took out this low. So again, you can see that it was just tricky, right? Intraday, I do think you can get some nice setups, but in terms of reading the 4-hourly, not very clean, right? So it broke up there, it broke down there, it again came back into this zone. Like here it stopped, it didn't really stop at something important, but here it actually came in at the very extreme zone right there, again towards that zone, and then we really offloaded the orders, right? So right there, which is actually our last 4-hourly shift, which creates our bullish which creates our bullish 4-hourly time frame. Okay, so what are we potentially doing right now? Well, as I said, we could be traveling towards the highs, right? So this whole region right there, which is a daily zone, is where I could be potentially expecting the market to go. That could be a potential liquidity point we can attack, right? So this is potentially where I expect the Aussie to go. The big question is, are we just gonna pump into the highs and take out the zone on market open, or are we first gonna get a little pullback so then we can get a long trade? Okay, so a tip from me will be, don't look for this zone, right? So if the market gives you like a 30% to even 50% will be great pullback, then start looking for the market to align on the 15-minute or on the hourly, depending on how you trade, and then start going for the long. Okay, so this is a very fresh push. So we can have like a series of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pushes, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So we can definitely get deep into that zone. And then, for example, we can reverse. This is just simple Elliott wave theory. So that's the Aussie, keeping it as simple as possible. Right now, it's in a push phase, right? So what you have to wait for is for the pullback phase, for the higher low to be created, and then potentially to go long. So let's see how that's going to play out, right? The Aussie JPY, yeah, you can see it's still responding from that wick, which is really, it's really tedious because it looks also down, but it's still kind of bullish. So very tricky. In terms of the daily, well, this one actually looks like it's breaking structure on the daily. So what I showed you on the Aussie, like the Aussie is about to tap into that zone, Aussie JPY is already broken above it. So the daily is actually aligning bullish on this one, but I want you to have a look at the candles. Like, sure, we started very bullish, but then chop, big chop, very big chop right there. So yeah, the fall is probably going to be very, very tricky. So the trade is this one right there, but it was already Sunday tapping in this zone. Monday just opened and just boom, high. And then good luck trading in this one. Took the high, pull back, high. So maybe you could have taken a long from here. Maybe you took a long from here. Then it took the TP and then it shifted bearish, right? So technically right now, this right there was a break, and this right now is a breakdown, and this is your potential. So this is what we have on the JPYs, right? We also have it on yeah, we also have it right there. EU, no, not really. This one as well. So we have that JPY bearish shift. We're probably gonna see it also on NJ, right? So watch out for that, because the overall, you see that overall Aussie dollar is very bullish. So this one cannot very easily go bearish, right? So watch out for that. But technically, yeah, if it comes in right there, you can be looking for a 50-minute alignment to go short, and it also depends on USD JPY. Okay, so keep in mind that this overall is bullish. It's also bullish on the daily, so you can try to find like a daily zone, which I found very hard. Maybe it's somewhere right there. You can also use like a 12-hourly time frame. Like a slightly, yeah, this one doesn't look bad right there. You can use like a experiment with all time frames in order to get a good zone. This also doesn't look bad. So this is a potentially like a big daily zone that we can be tapping inside. And if we also take like the fib from the low to the high, we can see that we are just tapping into 50%. So we can immediately start reversing higher as well. So if you're trading the JPY as well, be slightly careful because they are a little bit sloppy. A lot of wicks as well are being created. So just be careful. And as always, wait for clean alignment, wait for clean forward time frame structure, because this is where you're going to make the money. And if you're trading within all of those chops, right, you're going to lose all the money you made during the clean trending markets. Let's have a look at the NZDs. Well, they're pretty much going to be the same as the Aussies, right? We're having a very nice bullish engulfing candle on the weekly. What is also interesting right here is this little candle that was actually kind of a pullback, right? And then we broke lower. So potentially if the market breaks above the zone, we might be shifting bullish on the daily. So let's have a look if I'm correct. Well, yeah, looks like it. So this is the last daily structure break right here, right? So technically then this is the last daily lower high. We kind of threw a little wick down there, but this does not count because we immediately closed back in, right? So technically right now on the daily, we're still within this range, push, pull back. But hey, let's look at the weekly. Like the weekly is very to the downside, very extended. We also tapped 0.55, which is like looking like a very nice round number compared to the 0.62 on the Aussie, right? So both of those can move in a pair together to a little bit towards the upside. Okay, and probably right now we're gonna see that the 4-hourly time frame is also shifting. So we had that same delivery right there. The market pushed, and it was actually NZUSD that was more bullish than the Aussie, right? So we had actually here a break, while the Aussie did not really have like a nice break. Then this one came back, held, and again opened on Monday and just boop, high, right? And the Aussie, if you spotted the Aussie stopped right there and started pulling back. So it did not make a new high. This one definitely made a new high, right? And then technically we had this overall range. The market pulled back 50% right there. So potentially you can find the zone right here within this wick. It went up, it made a new high, right? But after the high, it shifted down for a bit, but then immediately it shifted back up. So we had this kind of up, down, shift, up, down, up shift on the majority of the pairs. And yes, right now this pair to me is bullish. So once again, I'm just dropping my range, which is not formed yet because we're still in this push phase. So what we have to do is for the push phase to end, we're going to be encountering a very nice supply zone on the left. So hopefully this supply zone is going to give us like a nice pullback. So then we can look for the alignment and potentially take a long. Okay. So the NZD, where is the NZD? I'm looking at my chart. New Zealand interest rate, they also hiked it by 50 basis points together with the Aussie. Have a look here, right? From 3 to 3.50, right? So this is very good. This is why, okay, I see right now. This is why the NZD is a little bit stronger than the Aussie, right? Because yeah, this one right now is going even with a higher rate than the Fed's rate, right? So watch out for this. NZD could be a good fundamental long. Okay, so if I get any pullbacks right there towards the 50%, but also 30% will be enough, and then the 50-minute aligns bullish, I will be looking to long this pair. So let's see how this one works out. And it's JPY, could be a little bit sloppier, but yeah, this one actually shifted bearish on the weekly. So right now it's going to be tapping into weekly supply. But looking at the overall strength of it, I don't know if you're going to have like a big reversal. Personally, similar to, which pair was it? I think it was another, yeah, it was Aussie JPY. We have that same delivery right there, right? On the daily is kind of looking a bit more bullish, right? And we have this overall daily range. So we can be pulling back towards 50% of the daily range and then to potentially continue going higher. And again, just because it's a JPY pair, this one has that kind of recent shift to the downside. This is the supply. So yeah, let's see what it does, right? We have a potential like a short right there, maybe to take it into the long, and then from there we can look for the long. But according to me, guys, avoid the JPYs, go to the USDs. They're much cleaner right now. I mean, if you can catch a long on this one, I do think it could be a good hold because even the fundamentals are supporting a long NZD dollar. Okay, it's very extended on the weekly. Interest rate hikes are good. We have a potential for a very big pullback. The Aussie dollar is also bullish. We have a little bit of a risk on sentiment. So let's see if we can catch some longs on the NZD USD. All right, the king of the JPYs, Mr. USD JPY. We're having a very nice, well, guys, we're having the first weekly bearish candle. Wow, that is huge. And yeah, when did it happen? Monday. Sorry, Friday, right? So it's kind of a little bullish, little bullish, little bullish, little bullish. What happened on Friday, by the way? Does any of you know what happened on Friday? I think we could have gotten in some JPY news or something, but I saw the whole market moved, right? So I wasn't Friday. I just took those 2 losses early in the morning, and then I went outside of home, so I didn't really follow up on the news. But what happened on Friday? Because we had some huge wicks and moves, right? So this one is absolutely ridiculous. Right, so just look. It looks like a stock that is really about to crash. Like the overall delivery, like look at that, climb up, crash. Right, COVID crash. Stock market goes up, interest rate crash. Right, so it just looks like a stock on the voyage. So we really don't know what's gonna happen on this one. Like for the JPY traders, I really don't know what you're doing right now. So just looking at this price, I cannot read this. Right, so I really have to zoom in, and as we see that we have a hourly break right there. And technically, this one is a hourly bearish break right there. So sure, I can draw my supply zone up there, but yeah, is it gonna pull back? Is it gonna actually go bearish? Because we're right now about to take, we already took all of these flat lows right there. Yeah, quite some of them. And it just doesn't look right. Look at all this sloppy price up and then look at this massive dump lower, right? So this dump is 570 pips, right? Which is pretty much what the market moved for 10 days. So I don't know. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Why is this happening? So give me a little bit of an update, because I do love fundamentals, but I missed out on this one. Why is this move happening? And really nothing much to mention on USD JPY, right? It can start pushing into the longs right now. We just don't know. Okay, so give it some time once again, and I would say focus on other USD pairs right now, because this one is just looking ridiculous. Or allow it to maybe make another range to break structure again, and then you start following the new ranges where you actually have a confirmation, okay, this one is going down. Because this bearish push does not mean much to me. It's just news. It's some sort of I don't know what happened on Friday, but yeah, I'm gonna be waiting a bit more in order to trade USD JPY. Well, it looks like USD CAD has to take a break from going to the moon as well. Maybe they do a pit stop somewhere in between Earth and the moon. I don't know. But we have this very nice push. We had that little pullback. So technically right here, this is a valid base candle, which is a valid demand zone. So I'm really curious to see how the market is going to respond from this type of zone. And then, yeah, dropping onto the daily, we can pretty much also refine it a little bit on the daily. So it's going to be looking something like this, but very, very choppy right there. Very choppy on the top. I think it's not good for UCAT traders. I just see up, down, up, down, up, down. Probably even the hourly is just insane. Yeah. This is gonna give me a hard time, but yeah, so we have a breakup right there, then it broke down right there, then it pretty much pulled back and held the bearish sentiment, continued to break lower, and yeah, then it started shifting a little bit to the upside, then we broke down, and then we broke up, and right now we're breaking down. So yeah, well, technically we are right now bearish on the 4H, right? The last break being right here. This is my last break. And of course, we can take that last supply. So we have that similar situation where long term we are overall long, but right now the hourly is shifting a little bit bearish. So I'm really curious to see how we're going to respond inside this zone. So that zone is really going to determine what happens right now. You can even, again, even if you wish to go into great details, this is your 4-hourly zone as well before the break. So yeah, let's see how it responds from here. But for me, in order to go long on this one, I will need the 4-hourly to go bullish. And the 4-hourly in this case is going to go bullish if it breaks above. So what could happen is we can have a reaction, short from here, lower low, then maybe another little range, and then we can start moving higher. So something like this. So give it some time, and what I would recommend is that you follow the most recent trend, which is right now bearish. Okay, so, and also if the Dixie goes down, then I do think we can get a nice short on this one. So let's see, okay? And don't wait too much. Don't wait for like a 8.6% pullback. Get your 30% pullback, like 50% is even great. And then let's try to go short, okay? So let me know what you guys think. I think a lot of it could be looking for potential longs within those zones. But to me, like I really want to see like the 4-hourly, maybe the hourly to align bullish in order for me to take any long from these areas right there. So let's give it some time and let's see. Let's have a look at the pound pairs starting from GBP USD. So similar delivery to kind of the USD pairs. We have this overall weekly push. The market pulls back. It tries to push lower. It fails. And right now it's pulling back either to take out this recent high, right, as a liquidity grab, or to maybe grab some liquidity from something that is right here. Okay, so overall, the weekly range on GU starts from here, according to me. So we are above right now the 50%. We're also tapping inside this kind of a weekly supply. So shorts can be coming in anytime soon. But again, you can see we had this massive drop that actually made the all-time lows. We immediately retracted back, tried to push lower, failed, and right now we're chopping in the middle. So really thinking in terms of liquidity and where the market could be headed next, I do think this high is looking very good. Looking very tasty, and I do think we can take this one and then of course see how it's gonna start aligning within this range, rather within this supply. So if we also check the 4-hourly time frame, well, I do think you could have gotten some, yeah, not really, maybe a long, maybe a short right there, because technically the market broke. So the first break happened right there where the market aligned bullish, right? Then we would look for longs from here. Right, but the market didn't actually tap this zone. It just tapped 50%. It later came to tap it. I don't know. But here, the pullback. So Monday again open. It just straight went into the highs, made a new high. So then technically our higher low is let's say just this candle. So then it pulled back here. You could have been looking for longs right there. Maybe you got this long. Then it reversed lower and actually broke that structure, which is what caused the high, right? So we shifted bearish right there, and technically right now this is the structure that needs to break in order to turn bullish. On the majority of the pairs, we already have that bullish shift, but not on GU, which is kind of strange, right? So technically this one is still tapping into supply, and if this was like yeah, maybe Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, we could be looking for a potential short if the 50-minute aligns bearish, which is right now absolutely bullish. Okay, so I would say give this one some time. It's in this push phase, but it's overall bearish right now. So I'm going to be very careful because remember the overall sentiment of the market, the current bearish Dixie, and the overall like bullish Euro USD, bullish Aussie dollar, bullish NZD/USD. So just looking at the sentiment, well, I do think this one can break up, maybe come back for a pullback, give us a little long. take out this high, take out also this high, and then from there we are gonna adapt and see what is gonna happen, because this one can already be next week, next month. Okay, so give it some time. Again, technically it's still bearish to me, so I am not going to be taking longs, but I'm going to be waiting for Monday to play out and potentially see how we can strike on Tuesday when it comes to GBP USD. And GJ is probably having that funny wicks. So yeah, we actually went on and took out the high this week, which is good, which makes the weekly overall bullish. Daily, well, okay, this one is a break because this one was a very good demand zone, but we can see that it actually violated. Yeah, it's with a little wick below, so could be a liquidity gap, but to me, wicks are also breaks because this pretty much invalidates the zone. So overall, daily is bullish. This is not a valid kind of range in order to say that the daily is turning bearish right now. So this is our overall range. So it could be that we're grabbing a little bit of liquidity, of course, maybe tapping some like here, maybe within this week as well. I don't really know, but yes, so right now, oh man, this is tricky. So yeah, we started with a nice push on Monday, and then we just chopped. We just chop. And yes, right now we have this Friday massive flush into the downside, which again, technically, it very briefly broke below this low, which is like a very shitty delivery, because this one is technically like a break to me, but it just took it out by very little. It's just like six pips or something. But again, to me, similar to all the JPYs, we're having this short-term bearish alignment. So I'm very curious to see if we can actually pull back right there and get a short and then travel towards like the 50%, or maybe even towards right there. So give it some time. As I told you, the JPYs are not very great right now. We don't have any clear setups, especially with that Friday madness. So give them some time, okay? And just follow the most recent momentum. But again, always be aware what the hard time frame trend is, because this is always going to be your best bet. Okay, so GBP, JPY, bullish on weekly, bullish on daily, but 4 hourly is slightly shifting a little bit bearish. So my question is, can we take one short towards the long? Okay, so those are the GBPs. I don't care about this one. I never look at this one. So let's go have a look at gold. Well, let's have a look at Goldie. Well, an overall rejection candle right there on the weekly, nicely held. It didn't break, it didn't make a new lower low, so it very nicely rejected. So this is because, as I told you, we're having that little risk on perspective, right? And also pay attention that it is right here that the daily shifted bullish. We came in towards a weekly supply though, right? So again, the weekly is probably gonna prevail over the daily because the weekly is bearish, but we pull back very correctively. We tapped absolutely to the lowest point. Like you can even take that little wick right there, and we very nicely rejected. But once again, this happened on Friday. Like what happened? I'm just gonna go right now after I close the GOAT, maybe to give you even more context to what happened on Friday. So yeah, overall you can see bearish. So the fourly you could have potentially taken some shorts, and this was my overall outlook, because again the fourly turned bearish right here, held lower low. There is the fourly supply as I indicated, right? I also think I refined it something right here, and then yes, I was looking overall for this one to break. This one broke. We just continued going lower. Then we have another break right there, and right now the fourly is aligned bullish. We just broke out right here. So yeah, technically we have that short-term shift. I also have my Tuesday outlook still staying there. What was I looking for? Okay, I was looking for a long into the short or a break below this zone, which is what kind of happened right there. And then a retest and a continuation lower. Okay, I kind of got it right. But yeah, again, this is why those forecasts, they just don't work, right? Because they are kind of precise, but then the market then goes and does something similar, but in a different manner, right? So technically, when I was doing the analysis, this one was not here, but then it was this one that actually caused that break right there. So it was this zone right there that you could have gotten a short, and I do believe you get a beautiful short, because I see how the market rejected and it came back with that wick, which gives you the short, and then pretty much you can just hit TP right there. And then at the end, it ended up taking out the low, okay? So yes, well, just what to say. Well, we have this bullish alignment right now, so I would love to actually go long, similar to the other pairs. It's right now in a big push phase, so we can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pushes into the highs to maybe pull us back a little bit towards 50% of this overall leg right there. But it's very tricky because weekly is bearish, holding from this supply, but right now daily is holding from this demand. So what is happening? Okay, this can be just short-term protraction, just to take out some of these flat highs right there that we have, something like this, and then to potentially go lower. But if the fall right now has aligned bullish, I'm curious to see if I can take some longs on this pair, right? Or on this commodity, I should say. It's currently once again in a push phase, so we have to wait for the pullback and then to potentially see if we can catch some longs. Okay, so follow the recent trend, which is bullish right now, but of course, let's see what happens. I don't think there are any opportunities right now, because again, it's just simply pushing, right? So we have to wait for Monday to play out, form some new price action, some new market structure, and then we're gonna strike. All right, let's have a look at some indices to wrap up this long analysis. So what we have right now is a very massive bullish candle. You can see that there is almost no wick to the downside and kind of no wick to the upside, so it closed absolutely bullish. But once again, we're gonna see when actually did that happen. But yes, an overall very nice delivery on US 30, on the other indices as well. Why? So I tried to kind of find out why, and what I managed to find out, especially like for the stock market, is this little article. So I'm not really sure if that is the reason, right? Because it's an article, so who actually said that, I don't know. So this is something that I'm gonna dig in deeper right now. But an article from the Wall Street Journal suggested the Fed rate setters might shift towards a tamer pace of rate rises from December. Okay, so pretty much the Fed might slow down in their rate hikes, which again is bullish for the stock market, of course, right? And bearish for the dollar. And we can see that this is already being priced in right now just on this article. And we can see like how investors are very quick to react and very quick to judge, right? Just one little article like this can shake out the stock market and just cause this massive pump. And again, I don't think this is like something very major, and I think it's not coming officially from the Fed. So correct me if I'm wrong, but what I see from this article, I showed you that it's an article from the Wall Street Journal. I'm actually gonna go to have a look at this article, but I haven't heard Mr. Powell say something or the central bank say something. I don't know, right? So is this just a short-term pullback to gather more liquidity in order to dump even lower? Well, we're gonna see soon. Okay, so we are technically right now pulling back towards this weekly zone, which is around 50% of this recent weekly leg. So I'm very interested to see what's going to happen next week. Okay, daily actually kind of, shifted bullish right there. It actually held from here, hourly shifted bullish, and right now we're in this nice uptrend. And right now we are coming towards like taking the liquidity that is resting within this big range. And yeah, we can see just like 3 o'clock, it just poof. When did that article come out? Let me check the time. I don't have the time. Where is it? At the bottom? Okay, it doesn't really show me when it was published. Maybe I don't know where to look. London yesterday. Okay, but yeah, like something went out right there and we just pumped. I'm actually gonna explore because I got very curious, because on Friday we see on all pairs we have that kind of development, which was very unexpected. But yeah, pretty much we see we had a push, we had a pullback. Monday opened straight push up, a whole week of a chop right there. Then it just stopped right there and exploded and made a new higher high. So what we have right now is I don't want to say it start from here though. What we have is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So right now Elliott wave is gonna get completed into this zone. So this is why I'm very curious to see what's gonna happen next week, because I think this news right there was just a little bit of a just a little bit to price in some things, or just to give that little pullback on the indices in order for them to continue going lower. Okay, so nothing much to say. Well, pretty much right now we have a break of structure. We pretty much have a brand new range. We have a brand new demand as well. So we have to move our pip to here. But again, right now it's in a push phase, so there is nothing much we can do. What I would love to happen right now is for the market to take out the high, to create a new range, higher high, then to shift bearish, and then we can start going short with the overall weekly and daily. Yeah, the daily is a little bit debatable. The daily we can say that the daily is kind of turning bullish, but once again, the weekly is always gonna prevail. And I'm still looking for another tap of 28.50, 28, all the way down towards 26, which is where I would really love to see the market come in, where I'm also gonna increase the amounts that I invest on a monthly basis. So let's see, right? Nasdaq, same thing, right? Same thing. We have this very nice bullish candle. It's also pulling back a little bit. This one is the most bearish index. And so where is it gonna pull back to? Well, this is the first zone that it's gonna actually encounter. We have one much above. You can see that US 30 is already into this zone, right? While Nasdaq is still at the lows right there, right? See, right? This one is already down up there. This one is still very low. So very low. So So is it gonna actually go short earlier? Yeah, I mean, not earlier, but it's not gonna pull back all the way up here, but it could definitely short from here if it moves in tandem with US 30. So this one is also about to take out the high. So we can see that this one is even weaker once again, right? US 30 smashed the high while this one is still traveling towards the high. So once again, I'm curious to see what's gonna happen as we enter this zone. Okay, so nothing much to say for now. I don't think there is any opportunity it's precisely right now on Sunday, so we have to wait for Monday, Tuesday, and then see how it adapts. And also you can see S&P is also going towards breaking the high, but this one already tapped into the zone, gave a reaction. So is this actually zone gonna hold, or is it gonna break? And you can see once again, similar to Nasdaq, this one just tapped 35, right? And right now it's pulling back, but we can see that the weekly supply is up there, right? So if I drop a pip, 50% is also up there. So we can see that it's only US 30 that is currently at a very good pricing point in order to get shorted, right? So can we have, like on Nasdaq and on S&P, also that same move into the highs right there in order to flush? Or is it going to be US 30 that actually determines that? So let's see. I'm very, very, very curious. I do think we have a little bit more upside, especially on S&P, but it can definitely also stop right here. Or of course, what could happen is we can just take out the high and just stop right there and keep reversing. So it's very important to follow the hourly time frame right now, which is currently bullish. It also responded from this zone. It gave a nice push. It gave a nice pullback, and right now it's giving another nice push. So let's see how this one is going to play out. We can see something that is very strange is that even though we haven't really had a pullback right there towards the mean value, we went from 21 extreme fear to closing at 45 neutral. So this is very strange. The sentiment cannot change so fast, right? It cannot change so fast, right? So we went from 18 October 12th to 45. So this one is way, way, way too fast. So I think something is going on. But again, is it short term? Is it just giving us that little pullback right there in order to get shorted? I don't know. Also, please guys, let me know what you think. All right. And yeah, crypto, I'm not going to cover crypto because it is just ranging right now. There is nothing spectacular to have a look on those instruments, so I'm definitely letting him go and really focusing right now on the stock market. I'm also going to be studying more about treasury yields, bonds, and all that stuff, because this is also a factor for the stock market, which is something I get even more interested in. So yeah, well, this is how I'm going to wrap it up. So hopefully you enjoyed this one. Hopefully I didn't make it too long, and please let me know. Always share your comments with me. What are you expecting for next week? I also ask you questions throughout all the pairs. What is your outlook? How did you also perform this week? Let me know. I always love hearing those. And where do you expect the market to go? Let me know if you wish to see any videos from me as well. Any sort of educational, any ideas that you have for the channel that is going to bring you value. Let me know. And of course, make sure to subscribe, like the video, and talk to you on Tuesday. Have a lovely weekend.